Wood, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RDA. And I must be completely honest with you. I first want to start the show out and say that I think as a fan base at the moment, we're very, very low. I didn't know how much I cared about this club. I thought it was just easy. I thought I could just walk away. I could just be like, I'm never going to talk about this club again. I'm under contract at the RDA, so I'm going to have to do it anyways. But, in my personal time, I won't talk about it. I was like, yeah, cool. And then I close my eyes and I start to feel this. I don't even know what it is, boys. I felt like I was going to throw up. I genuinely did. This is not staged. This is not made up. I felt like I was going to throw up. And I was like, you know what? I can't sleep. I might as well just pop into the stream.
I couldn't sleep.
The United Stand and the boys, they're doing the stream. And I'm listening to everything that's going on, and it's just hitting me, not because of Mark, not because of Flex, not because of any other United fans, but it's just hitting me, man. Like, loyalty isn't something you get to choose. Loyalty isn't about convenience. Loyalty isn't something you should give up freely or give away easily. But imagine if the Liverpool fans of the late 90s gave up on their club. It would have been toast. It would have been toast. And yeah, it's not the same situation. Yeah, they weren't the richest club in the world. Yeah, they didn't have actually, they did have a self-sufficient revenue stream because it's not like they had rich owners who invested oil money. But I guess where I'm trying to go with this is I think if you're a real Manchester United fan, the last thing you can do is give up on the club because you're just exposing yourself as somebody who only likes to support football clubs when things are going well. You're going to hop to the next football club. You're going to figure out it has the same problems. I mean, look at Arsenal. They have exactly the same problems as us, and they finished 8th. And they're celebrating an FA Cup. That's how low their fan base is. When they win an FA Cup, they celebrate it like they won a Champions League. So, we got to move on, guys. We got to move on. We got to look at this transfer window, criticize the management, criticize the coaching, criticize the board. Find reasons to be optimistic if you want to. If your favorite club signs if your favorite player signs for the club, well done. If you love Edison Cavani, well done. Good for you. I'm happy that you can smile, but don't do what I did. Don't force other people to be positive because now I get it. Now I get it. I'll slap anyone who tells me to be positive right now, because I can't fake it. I really can't fake it. I'm sick at what's happened at this club. The transfer window, boys. Let's delve into it because where else can we start? First of all, I do not, and let me start by saying this, I do not hate Edison Cavani as a player. I actually liked him a few years ago. I don't like him anymore because of the attitude problems and the immaturity between him and Neymar arguing over bloody penalties when your team's trying to win a bloody Champions League, mate. Grow up, But it just ain't it for me. It just ain't it. And the ultimate icing, the cherry on top of the icing of the crappiest cake ever baked is to give him the number 7 shirt. What are we doing? Does Cristiano Ronaldo mean nothing to this club? Does Eric Cantona mean nothing to this club? Does David Beckham mean nothing to this club? Does Van Nistelrooy, Valencia, the last decent number 7 we had, and we moved him to right back because we didn't have a right back that summer. And then we didn't sign a right winger who was worthy of the number 7 jersey when we relegated him to right back. It's a madness, fam. What are your thoughts, on the transfer window? Whichever one of you wants to go first.
Well, taking this a bit, I'll go first. Fam, I won't lie to you. I'm extremely angry. I'm just extremely angry. I'm disappointed. I'm not really surprised. I mean, I kind of expected something like this to happen. But yeah, the whole Cavani thing was just it's what put me over the edge. Giving him the number 7, if it is true. They haven't confirmed it yet because they're probably very scared to confirm that he will be our number 7. But it's just a mess. I'm not happy. And then this club has literally thrown Ali under the bus. And the only thing I think of now is I'm predicting when Ollie's going to get sacked. I'm predicting when Potter's going to come in and the cycle repeats itself.
And the thing is, right, I was telling a United fan off air, right, it's very gloomy, it's very dark at the moment. But anyone who knows me as a Manchester United fan, I've been a pessimist about this club for a very long time. Last season was the first season where I actually looked at it and I went, oh, okay, we're actually building on something here. We just beat Leicester to get into the top 3. The team that was in the top 4, that was 14 points ahead of us, we beat them to get third in the final game of the season. It's a brilliant end to a brilliant story. I know there's people who say we shouldn't celebrate semi-finals. I know there's people who say we shouldn't celebrate third, but you're thick because we're not celebrating it as an achievement and putting it on at the pinnacle of competitive football. We're celebrating it as progress for a team that has a history of making bad decisions and being very inconsistent, and is finally looks like it's turned a corner. But you know, I even sent a tweet out this morning saying I was a fool, and anybody else who trusted this board was also a fool, because they've just gone and crapped all over everything that they were building on Gunnar Solskjaer. But I will say that if there is any hope, and I don't know how you guys feel, if there is any hope for me personally, it's the fact that I still believe in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Is he tactically good enough? I'm not going to get into that conversation. I think if he really wants to keep his job, and I would respect him if he walked out right now, just to prove his reputation, but he's not going to do that. If he really wants to keep his job, and I know most United fans don't want to hear this, but he's got two options. Number one, play a much deeper line with two defensive midfielders in the pivot like he did, or go back to a back five. I prefer two defensive midfielders than a back five, to be honest. And we go on a run where we just keep clean sheets and get a lot of draws. And then he waits until there's confidence and there's a positive move around the club and goes on another 3-month, 2-month run or whatever it is, right? But if he doesn't do that, and if he tries to be a MacGyver about the situation, he will get sacked because he's out of his depth. And I don't think there's any way to bounce back with these players. If he insists on playing people like Paul Pogba when they're not in form, people like Harry Maguire when they don't deserve to be starting, let alone being captain, people like Marcus Rashford to be undroppable because of their names and their big wages, then I'm sorry, Ollie's got to go. He's going to be sacked. It's not about whether or not you believe he's got to go or not. He's going to be sacked. And the sad thing is people don't see, some people say, don't see the negative of that. Like, we've got a manager here who's willing to put his personal reputation on the line. He's willing to put his coaching career, his future, everything he built, the 2 league titles he won at Mulder that nobody respects. Nobody ain't going to respect it now if he gets sacked. He's willing to put that all on the line to try save this club. We need people like that in this club. If we lose people like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who are willing to put their egos aside and take all the hits and keep the reputation of the club, much like Fergie did, although he was winning trophies, it's done, mate. It's honestly done. I'll watch the team. I'll back the players because the players did nothing wrong besides embarrass us against Tottenham, which happens when you don't deserve to be playing for the shirt. But if you get given the shirt, what are you going to do? But I just don't see any way to be positive if we get someone like Poch in, because we're going to spend 150 million in the summer, and then we're not going to back him the summer after that. And then is Poch the kind of guy to just stay and be a yes man? He's not. He's got an ego like every other coach in world football, and I don't see why anyone with any would come to this club unless they were washed and they were a free agent, and then the agent was like, listen, man, we got to take this. Just stick it out for a few years. You get 250 grand a week, and all you have to do is be a yes man for a couple of weeks and move on. It's a mess. It's a shambles. But Claire, what do you think of the window, man? What do you think of not just of Cavani, but the fact that we signed 2 right wingers that nobody knows?
Yeah.
A good central midfielder, to be fair, and Alex Telles is positive.
Yeah. So the only big positives that I could find was we invested in youth, which is always good. You can never go wrong investing in youth, and apparently Ahmad Traore is massively popular. He's like hailed as the next big thing in Italy right now. So hopefully he stays that way.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
So that's a positive, but we're only getting him in January, so we can't even see any impact from him when we need impact right now. And that's what the Sancho signing would have done. It would have been impact now and in the future. Right now, Ahmad Traore is only impact in the future. There's no intent right now to stabilize what's happening. Cavani,
But then that's my
he's
thing.
past his prime at 40, but he is an experienced striker. He offers a lot, like what Ali said when he signed Cavani. He offers a lot to the youngsters around him. He offers that winning mentality. That's about it, though. Past that, I don't see why he's worth 10 million in agent fees and over 250 grand a week. I don't see it. He's going to be a glorified bench warmer at best. And Van de Beek's obviously fantastic.
Yeah.
And the same goes for Telles. He's going to be a lot more consistent than Shaw because of the injury-prone record. That's about it, though. It's really... it's just a meh transfer window overall, and we could have done a lot better. We had a lot more intent going into this window than we did walking out of it.
That's my thing, though. That's my thing. And you know, I know a lot of you watching the show are going to be like, Marcus, you're crazy for what you're about to just say. But here's my thing, right? I think this club has made a bad errors of spending money where it just doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is, and what annoys me about this transfer window, it's not Cavani. It's not Traore. It's not that other Uruguayan kid that I keep forgetting his name, that nobody knows, who's 18 years old and apparently is ready to start in the first team, even though Diego Forlan, who actually coached the kid, said no. It's not that, right? My thing is, right, we're a club that's building for the future and we're investing in youth.
Yeah.
Then why can't we be a club that's building for the future and investing in youth? Why can't we say, okay, Ollie, no matter what happens this season, we're backing you. We're getting rid of all the deadwood and we're just signing young players. And your job is to make sure that we don't drop too far away from the top four from now till 2023 and grow the young talent. Why, if we're signing and building for the future, did we sign Cavani? He literally contradicts that statement. Van der Beek makes sense. Sancho made a lot of sense, but I get it. Okay, the Sancho deal fell through. I don't forgive them for it, but I get it. It fell through. You're not always going to get what you want when you're playing the best game of Football Manager in your life. Cool. Cavani doesn't make sense. He contradicts that. He contradicts everything that we have done in the last 5 years. I don't care what you say, Cavani. Look, he's a professional. I get it. But this guy, his agent came out 6 months ago saying that he wouldn't want to come to Chelsea or Manchester United. You know, he's not looking for a flashy offer. He just wants to play football. But then, you know, he's ended up signing for United anyways. And it's just, it's again, we know a player's picked us because he had no other better option. Plus, who doesn't want 250 grand a week when you can just drive into Carrington with your gown and your glasses? You know, so that's the thing that pisses me off. That's why I'm upset. And I'm not going to yell and break things because it doesn't do anything. Getting your high blood pressure up doesn't do anything. You know, breaking your wrist or hurting yourself doesn't do anything. The Glazers won. They got you exactly as winded up as they wanted you. You know, I just think the way to go from here to be, if you want my honest and blunt opinion, if you're looking for any reason to keep supporting this club, the only way we get these rotten eggs out of our club is if people like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer are backed by us. Not void of criticism. You can criticize him, because I still don't know why Pogba's starting if he's not fit. But we need to back the players. Now is the time to back the manager and the players. Now is not the time to be going in on Cavani. You getting mad at Cavani is exactly what the Glazers want. It's deflecting the blame off them. It's creating social media interactive. Negative or positive, they don't care. As long as you blame Cavani for Manchester United's failure, we're done, we're toast. And I know to a lot of people it might seem futile, but do you have any better ideas? Do you know a billionaire is going to buy the club? You know, you have to keep diverting the pressure and the attention towards the rightful blame. It's his fault. It ain't Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin, Zlatan, who was only here for a year and slowed our team down anyways and missed a lot of chances. It ain't any of those players' fault why we're here. It ain't their fault. If Manchester United comes to you with 250 per week, how would you say no to that? What human being on this planet, especially those of us who support the club, would say no to that? You know what I mean? So I get the anger, you know, and I personally don't even like Cavani, but he plays, you know, I feel like I've got to back him, not because I like the player, but because I realize that there's a bigger picture. And if this club is to ever go back to where it was, or even close, we need the players and the manager to do well. Because if this guy gets sacked, and half of these players get sold in the very next summer for free because we can't sell anyone anyways, we're just regressing. We're just regressing. And that £150 million that Poch is going to spend in his big summer, it's taking the club back, mate. It's taking the club back. And I get the Upamecano argument, but Upamecano ain't coming to Manchester United when he just signed a new 3-year deal. You know, why would Upamecano come here? You know, he's a generational talent. Why would he come here? You know, you're telling me we're going to be the only ones in for him, other than, you know, money. So I don't know. I hope Traore works. I hope that other young winger from Uruguay works. I hope Van der Beek works. I
Palestri,
hope
was it?
Telles works. Yeah, Palestri,
Plus,
something like
yeah,
that.
Palestri,
I
yeah.
think it's yeah.
Yeah, I hope, that's the thing. Even if Telles has an amazing season, it won't make a difference. Wan-Bissaka had an amazing season, but it didn't help us. You know what I mean? He's a right back. I mean, well, Telles is a left back, but I mean, Wan-Bissaka is a right back. So I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to find reasons to keep supporting this club beyond just being positive, and false, delusion. So I don't know where to go from here. What I
I
do
think
know
that's the
is
question.
that
That's the question. Where do we go from here? As a club, as fans, just I don't know.
Yeah.
Usually I have an
back to
answer,
manager.
but now I don't know. Yeah, you have to stick with Oli, but
Back to
it's,
manager. That's the only answer.
it's
That's
either
the only
Oli's
answer.
going to do something ridiculously amazing, or we're back to square one.
Yeah, and I hope it's the first part, not because I want Oli to succeed, but for the betterment of this club. Like I said, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer goes back to defensive tactics, park the bus tactics, I tell you what, mate. I tell you what. If we're necking
Yeah.
draws against Newcastle and stealing wins against Man City, I don't give a fuck. But I prefer that over sacking another manager and going through the same cycle again. I'm going to be real. I do not want to be sitting here going, "Oh no, he sold Martial because he wants a proper number 9. We're spending 100 million on Kane." Could you imagine that video? 100 million on Harry Kane after we just signed Cavani on a free, but we know he didn't work because he got injured. Oh man, you gotta laugh, because if you don't laugh, you cry. That's the only other alternative at this point.
Yeah.
But I think the answer to your question is back to manager, because we don't know any billionaires, and we don't have a billionaire, that we know that can buy the club. So that's out of the question. This whole nonsense about a crowd fundraiser, yeah, right. People talk a lot, but when it comes to actually putting money, you can't trust the snakes on the internet, especially as global fans. There's a lot of glory hunters out here that, how do you trust someone, with a crowd fund? Who's going to be in charge of that? It has to be a really, really intelligent and coordinated effort from someone that the entire fan base trusts, and someone who's not just going to run away with the money, even if you can get people to put 10 quid in. Because apparently, with the size of our fan base, if everyone just put 10 euros in, we'd have billions of which sounds nice. It sounds nice, but we don't live in a utopian society. We live in a society where people would rather argue about who's better, buy Leo Maguire, instead of talking about an intelligent solution to the problem we have at our club. So that's number 2. Number 3, the Glazers don't want to sell anyway. So unless you get a ridiculous amount of money in, these guys aren't selling. Number 4, the whole idea of just disengaging from the club and running the club into the ground. The Glazers still win, mate. If we get relegated and we lose half our players, what billionaire is going to buy us over Tottenham? What idiot would spend $1 billion on United and then spend billions fixing it and taking it back to where it was, when you could just buy Tottenham? They just
Hopefully,
got
United
stadium.
fan. That's what I'm gonna say. Just hopefully, United fan.
I hate to bust your bubble, but if you go on the Forbes list and look at all the
It is a
billionaires,
bubble.
I don't
It's
think any
fully
of
a
them are
bubble.
into football.
I'm sorry, it's fully a bubble. It's fully a
Yeah,
very small bubble. But hey,
guys, let's be real. Of all the billionaires in the world, the only person I know who's close to a billionaire that I even like and follow is Elon Musk. And I know he doesn't watch soccer, so and I'm pretty sure he used half his money from PayPal to put into SpaceX, and half his money from Tesla to put into SpaceX or something like that. I'm pretty sure he used a lot of his funds a few years ago. So I'm not sure if he's quite the billionaire he used to be. Jeff Bezos, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit. He's just a scumbag running Amazon. Who else? Warren Buffett doesn't care. If he's even sort of billionaire. Bill Gates doesn't care. He's into computers and shit. So, everywhere. Look, and even if let's just say Elon Musk did care. Let's just say Elon Musk did love football, and let's just say on an outside chance he's a United fan. His advisors would still advise him to buy Tottenham instead, because it's the better deal. They cost $3 billion less. Have to sack everyone from the bloody CEO to Phil Jones to the medical staff. So I don't know. I think the idea of someone buying the club sounds nice and it sounds romantic on paper, but we need to look at the reality. And the reality doesn't mean it being extremely pessimistic. There is a way out of this. Fergie won trophies under this board. Whether or not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can do it, I don't know. But I do think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can make us a consistent top 4 team with unattractive football, at least for 2.5 seasons. I don't know what else to say beyond that, because I don't think he's going to go and win a league title now. But that is the way for me. Baby steps, gradual improvement, and eventually, the truth will start to come out. There are people in the club who are fed up and are leaking stuff about it. You know, the Matt Judge thing about him not answering his phone didn't come out by accident. Ed Woodward isn't strengthening his security for fun. These people are going to get theirs sooner or later. Eventually, the Glazers are going to have to clean up the shit they've created or perish, you know, because I'm not an advocate of violence, but if one of them does get killed, I ain't losing sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
man. Yeah, man.
something's
They
good-
could crash
something's gotta
tomorrow.
give.
I wouldn't sleep. I wouldn't really
Yeah,
sleep.
something's got to give. Eventually, the shit's going to come out. The truth about the Sancho deal is going to come out because we leak like a sieve. If we can't keep our starting 11, you know, a secret from other teams, how the hell are we going to keep, you know, big things like this? So eventually it's going to come out. And I think if you're looking for a reason to be positive, the only logical answer is to back the manager. The last thing you want to be doing is going in on players and transferring that negativity and frustration to people who don't deserve it. I mean, they do deserve it, but they don't deserve it as much as the scumbags around us. You know, anyone is an angel compared to the Glazers and Woodward. So that's the thing, man.
I feel sorry
I
for
heard.
Ollie, to be honest. Because, like, you know, we speak about backing or whatever, but Ollie was not backed at all. Ollie didn't get one player he wanted. You wanted Grealish, he didn't get Grealish. All right, Van der Beek is great, but he didn't get Grealish. You wanted Sancho, he didn't get Sancho. You wanted Reguilon, he didn't get Reguilon. You wanted a centre back, he didn't get a centre back. You wanted a CDM, we still don't have a CDM. It's so late.
Ed Woodward might as well have just told him to bend over. All right, bend over. I've got no lube. I hope you enjoy it.
Everyone might as well just told Ollie to pack his bags already. You know, just
He
repeat.
screwed him. Yeah, no, he screwed him. And I think you got to look at it and say that. By the way, the name I've been missing on the channel because there's a few videos where I forgot to mention this guy was David Gill. He was the CEO before Ed Woodward that I've been talking about.
I mentioned it. Yeah, I mentioned it.
Yeah, eventually, this shit has to catch up with the Glazers because if Evra is honest and if we can trust Patrice Evra and Joel Glazer or whichever Glazer he was talking about genuinely does want this club to be successful, right? Which I don't really care about because what you want and what you do to get what you want is two very different things. But let's just pretend he wants the club to be successful. He, at some point, and whoever else in this club cares, they're going to have to work together and unite and get these people out, people. Like, ways this can keep going on. There has to be an end to it at some point. Because Ed Woodward, right? Ed Woodward has no track record of any success in terms of actual football signings if you go through it. We've already had this conversation before, but if you go through it, what successful signing has this guy made? And you could even argue that Bruno Fernandes was a panic buy anyways.
Yeah.
We only did it because he was injured. I can't say anything else other than it has to change eventually because if there are people who genuinely love this club and who are willing to put their reputation on the line in order to expose some of the problems, that is how change will start. But until that happens, and until that starts happening more frequently, you can forget about it. There's no billionaire who's going to buy this team. And who said the Glazers want to sell anyways, unless it's for a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to sell if I was the Glazers. I'd be like, I'm getting 100 million a year for nothing.
They're sucking money out of the club. They're not even making the money. They're sucking money out of the club. Manchester United in debt, and these men are sucking money out of. They're stealing money out of the club. But because they've got fancy lawyers, and you know those lawyers will have fancy degrees, there's always loopholes. You know, you can cover it up as dividends, but there's just so many shady things. I mean, Phil Jones, mate, I footballer or as a person outside of the game, but you're full of shit. 5-year contract on 80 grand a week, and you haven't played for United in nearly a year.
And you still won't play.
That's so shady. What's that? What were you going to say?
No, and I'm saying you still won't play.
Yeah, he won't play.
You still won't play.
You're mercenary. You're mercenary. You're on one of the highest wages in the world as a centre back, and you're not even a seventh choice centre back. Like, at what point do you say I've got enough money? You know, like there's enough petrol in the tank of my Lambo, and I've got enough property in Southeast London. You know, let me leave. You know, and move to America or China. At what point do you look at yourself as an individual in the mirror And again, I get it. Some of these guys are fans of the football club, like Jesse. He loves the football club, so he just wants to play for the football club, innit? Rashford loves United. But some of these other men, like, at what point do you just cut the cord, you know? And I feel sorry for people like Pogba, you know? I'd be stunned if Pogba signs a new contract with this club. Like, what are you doing, mate? What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't mean to go in on Pogba and make this the Pogba outro, but if Pogba does sign a new contract, I would also question his intentions as well, you know? Because what other reason other than money would he sign? Passion can only take you so far. Passion can only take you so far. I know Jack Grealish signed a long-term contract with Aston Villa, but at least he loves the club, you know? It's his boyhood club. So, you know, I don't know, you know? Van der Beek better start. And Van der Beek better do what Bruno did last season.
That's the thing, yeah. But backing the manager, Ollie needs to start doing these things. Even if he goes 5 at the back, you know, removing captaincy from Maguire, dropping these big name players like Pogba, he has to start doing this. Otherwise, he's just not helping himself, and he's just leaving us want to get sacked. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to grow a pair and say, "Listen, Pogba, listen, we tried it, fam. You have to work your way back into the team." You know, if Fred and McTominay have to work.
I love Pogba. Everyone knows I am Pogba's biggest fan, but the way he's been playing, I'd be like, boy, get on the fucking bench, bro. You need to work your way back on this team. That I don't know what that is. That is not Pogba that I know. So, and Van der Beek, I'll be like, you are playing well. So, you start, and then until I have a reason to drop you, I'll drop you. But for now, you play.
Yeah, but why are we surprised? You know, why are we surprised? Even if you Pogba's biggest advocate, like, the guy had COVID. Okay, the guy had COVID and came back to Manchester United a week before the season started. Yeah. It's high-end football, mate. You can't just start training for a week. There's a reason why these guys go on tour to whole different countries in order to condition themselves and get ready in the right condition to play at the highest level. On top of that, we don't even have the best medical staff anyways, but that's besides the point. So Pogba, for me, it's not even about, like me going in on the player, he just shouldn't be playing because he's not ready. He's not ready. And what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing to him is not fair. He's doing exactly what Woodward's doing to him. He's screwing players in the backside, fam. Like, coach, I'm not ready. Tough luck. You're all I've got.
Yeah, Maguire's probably, he's begging to be like, just take me out of the limelight. It's like, no. He left Pogba and Maguire on while we were losing 6-1 and took off Bruno and Matic because they had to go at them. Unbelievable. This club is just a mess. It's just a mess.
It's sad, fam. It's sad. And, I all I can say is, I'll never give up on this club, because I've seen a lot of global fans, who have that second club, I call it the side chick, but, some people don't call it the side chick. Some people genuinely support two clubs and they just hop between the two. As soon as one starts doing badly, I'll put the other one on my DP up, because everybody knows I love that club. I can't do that. I can't do that no matter how bad it gets. I can look at other clubs and start watching other clubs to distract myself from what's going on at my club, which is what I do anyway. Everybody knows I love Real Madrid, but I'm not a fan of Real Madrid. I don't love Real Madrid the way I love Manchester United. If they got relegated tomorrow, I wouldn't lose sleep. But yeah, that's the only advice I have for people. Start watching other teams, fam. Watch your mental health.
I have a loan with Leeds and Everton this season because I just need a break. I'm just sick.
Yeah.
They're broken. They defeated me, fam. I can't.
Don't let the Glazers and anyone would have power over your mental health. Don't do it. Don't do it because they don't give a fuck about you. If there's one thing we've learned about this lesson, if there's one lesson we've learned about this window, can't even speak anymore, is that the Glazers and Ed Woodward, they don't respect you. They don't respect you. Because if they did respect you, if they had any self-respect, not just for us, but for the people in the club, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, for the players, they would handle these things differently. My bad, guys. We messed up the Sancho deal. We are sorry. What's so hard about saying that? You actually come out as a bigger person and look like you actually give a fuck.
Yeah. No, tell the fans, like the Fulham owner. He said that, like, listen, I'm sorry, I should have, invested more in the club, and then he went to go get loan deals because he's like, I don't have the funds, so I'm gonna get loans. At least say something to us.
Exactly.
Like, listen, I know you guys want to Sancho, but it was too expensive. I'm sorry. And then like, oh wait, sure.
Don't even fucking put a positive spin on it, man. Just be honest. Say we messed up the deal. We messed up the deal, and we feel your pain. We will fix this. Something. Don't just go and sign Cavani and then, lube it up like it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Give
You
him
know,
a number. Yeah. Give him your eyes.
Yeah,
That's
and
all good. That you gave him
we've
the
taken
number
3 L's to Dortmund. Yeah, we've taken 3 L's to Dortmund now, Bellingham. We all know tour around Carrington and Old Trafford with Bellingham and the big smile on his face because he probably knew, fuck this nigga, I'm choosing Dortmund. Who else did we lose? Haaland. How could I forget about Haaland? Haaland ditched us for Dortmund. And I won't even say Sancho ditched us for Dortmund. I would just say Dortmund took us for pops, and they were right to take us for pops because we are pops. They told us. You know?
And it's not our fault. It's not our fault. The fans shouldn't feel bad about it. It's because it's not our fault.
Yeah, because the thing is, right, what I try to explain to people, it's like, if Manchester United is a parent and we are the kid, right? Manchester United has walked in, right? I'm buying you a PS5, and we're like, I don't need a PS5, I have a PS4. I understand you're struggling financially. Don't get me the PS5. Please, just fix my PS4. No, I'm getting you the PS5. No, I don't want a PS5. I want the PS4 to be fixed. Okay, just shut up. I'm still getting you the PS5, and there's nothing you can do about it because I need to know that I'm a good parent. What will all these other parents say about me if I don't get this PS5? Fine. Get the PS5. I'll wait then. 1 hour before we're going to the store, we're driving in the car, everything's silent, and we're like, so, that PS5, that I didn't even ask for, by the way, where is it? And you're like, it's coming. It's coming. And then you get to the store, and you're walking out with the bloody Nintendo Wii, and you're like, what? You should have just told me. You should have just told me. I said I didn't want the PS5 to begin with. And you shoved it down my throat for 8 months or 6 months or whatever it was. And you let the whole world know. You let the whole cul-de-sac, the whole neighborhood know. Hey,
you
everybody,
literally told your friends, I'm getting my son a PS5. Yeah, I'm getting my son a PS5.
I'm sending him to a bloody expensive school to prove that I'm a good parent. Yeah, and everyone's like, okay. So what happened to the PS5, mate? And it's like, let's not talk about it. Let's look at this Wii. Look at this Nintendo Wii. I know it's only relevant 5 years.
It's got the PS5 sticker on it.
With a 7 sticker. And it's like, what are you doing? That's the thing. People think Manchester United fans are being hysterical or being melodramatic, and we're not. We didn't ask for this. We asked for our club to be run a certain way. We didn't get it, so we were like, okay, let's just disengage from this. And then we got sold this dream. We can do other things that other clubs can't do in the market. We're learning from our mistakes. We're gonna back the manager. We're gonna build for the future. Okay. It sounds right, but prove it. Okay, we finished third. We got Bruno. The 4 signings before Bruno were on the fence, but at least they want to be here and they're not mercenaries. We signed Van de Beek.
I still look back. Maybe not so much Maguire, but I still feel that, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is that player that we bought. So I think Maguire just did some pressure off.
Look, I tell you what, not many managers can succeed in that job, but this is probably the best line of the video. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is as tactically inept as everybody says he is, we'll find out. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right man for the job, we'll find out. We have not seen the end of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even though it seems like the end is looming over and it's very near.
Yeah, for me, it's that.
Yeah, but people call Phil Jones a cockroach because he survives nuclear wars. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a knack of getting a positive bounce out of this team. He has a knack of losing to Newcastle and losing to Watford, then beating City and Tottenham in the very next week. He has a knack of losing to Burnley 2-0 at Old Trafford and then going on the very next month to go on a 9-game unbeaten run that nobody saw coming. He has a knack of going on a bad run, of losing to Crystal Palace at home, Matic having his worst game, to beating the team with Neymar in a 3-1, that famous night in Paris. So, if there was any manager with any experience in world football who is going to come out of it he's going to wiggle his tail, do something. He's going to do something to pull himself out of this. I think it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's definitely got to prove himself here. I don't know what else to say, man. I think it's all been said. This transfer window's been a shambles.
Yeah, I think if we look at what Ole has to do, is that I don't know what I want him to. I think the safest option is to go to the back 5, play Telles left wing back, then Luke Shaw. I would drop Maguire, Lindelof by is the 3 centre backs, and Wan-Bissaka on the right. And we'll probably have Cavani there because we don't have Martial anymore. So
Yeah.
Cavani should definitely.
I don't know what you think about this, Clay, but I think there's an alternative. You know, I'll let you go in a bit, but I think if we play Matic, we play Fred, right, until Pogba gets his act together, or if Van der Beek is willing to play the deep role properly and not, you know, be overly committed to offense, and we play Bruno in front of him, we keep the front three as it is, because what you're going to do, you know, are you going to play that Uruguayan kid? I forgot his name again. Pesarelli something? What? No disrespect to the kid, but like,
Yeah,
I keep forgetting his name. What other option is there? You know, so we've got to keep the same front three. We've got to keep that midfield, and whoever plays in the back four, it can't be Maguire. He's got to get dropped at the captaincy, right?
Yeah.
Chris Smalling's gone now, so it is what it is. I think you play Bailey and Lindelof for the time being, and you protect that back four, because if you have two defensive midfielders in front of it, it won't look as bad. You know, you want proof. We somehow got 17 clean sheets last season in all competitions, you know, at some point. You know, I think in January we were on 17 clean sheets, and we were tied second highest with Liverpool after that horrendous run we went on. So it's not impossible, but I just don't see it. I just don't see how he does it, because on the one hand, our defensive problems can be negated for a short while, but who's to say, you know, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, and Bruno just won't play well for the next 3 months? You know, then it's a shambles. Then it's done. You know, then it's done. If Bruno just, you know, loses his head, stops being passionate about the club because of what happened in the dressing room or whatever, then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's done. And we've seen these players, some of these players, not the new ones, but some of these players have thrown a manager under the bus before. And I'm not saying they're going to intentionally throw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer under the bus, but I think there's a lack of maturity and a lack of spine in some of these players. Like, if they are 3-0 down at Anfield to Liverpool, they will freeze. They will freeze, and they will carry that negativity over into the next game and the next game and the next game. And before you know it, we're on a 5 or 6 game losing streak, or 6 game streak of just draws and L's. And, you know, I just don't see it. So it's about yes, the tactical nous of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to be shown now, but at the same time, these players have to step up. Some of them, and I trust Bruno. You know,
Yeah, I think Bruno's the only player I trust at the moment.
Yeah, I trust him in Martial. Because I think Martial, even though an unhappy Martial is an inconsistent Martial, I think Martial who wants to prove a point, Martial who's looking at Cavani like, who's this old Dom, is it could be a dangerous Martial, but I don't know. I just don't know. What do you think, Claire?
I think we're just going to need a bit of a tactical change. We can't play with a super high line anymore. We definitely can't be playing anything like that. We need to play a lot more compact if we're going to move forward with the team as it is. Because otherwise, we're just going to get taken advantage of.
Sorry.
We're just going to get taken advantage of, in all honesty. We lack the pace at the back. Maguire showed that a lot. And especially against Spurs, you saw them just exploit it completely. And any good team would do that. Any team with any kind of football IQ will do that to us. They're starting to learn, and they're starting to see our cracks, and it's not good because they're exploiting where we need to be most solid. That's the issue right now, and that needs to be changed. So I definitely think your 2DM strategy could work. We need to play very compact. We can't play this massively open style of football that we were playing this entire time, and it hasn't been working, admittedly. So maybe a change is needed. I think a change is kind of welcomed at this point as well. But it's hard to drop someone like Pogba, even if he is out of form. It is justified to drop him based on form. Every United fan can see that right now. It's really hard to drop a player of that kind of caliber, because you never know when he's just going to switch on and just have the game of his life, setting up 3 players, putting on our plates. You never know when he can do that. But if it was a fitness issue in the first place, he should have never been played, and then we have to ask Ollie, why the hell are you doing that anyway? But yeah, that's a conversation for another day. But we're going to need a lot of changes, and somehow Ollie's going to have to get the best out of Cavani, because Martial's gone for 3 games.
The head shake.
Yeah.
I don't
even
know.
That's a scary one.
That's what annoys me.
That's a scary one. Yeah.
There's a way out.
Yeah.
There's a way out. There's a way out for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer if he doesn't have the balls.
Dan, James, and Greenwood through the middle?
No. That's not the way out. No, but there is a way out.
Okay.
4-4-2 diamond with Cavani and Martial. The only way I can see that Cavani and Martial starting the same team, because if you play Martial on the left wing, good luck.
Yeah, we're playing
Good
a
luck
4-4-2
keeping
type of thing.
4-4-2 diamond
A
with Martial and
4-4-2
Cavani.
spinny like that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
because he doesn't have the balls to drop Pogba, you got to play Pogba, Van der Beek, and Bruno in the same midfield, anyways. You don't have to start them all, but you can bring one on later on, which I'm guessing would be Van der Beek, and then play Fred and Matic in the pivot somehow. You know, Fred will obviously be a part of the diamond, but he'll be instructed to be a lot deeper than Pogba will, and then him and Matic will run that midfield. That's the way out for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, but it's a shambles.
I think the way out is 5 at the back still.
Is what? 5 at the back, yeah. That's the one that, you know what it is with the 5 at the back here? You know what it is with the 5 at the back here? The 5 at the back is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer shooting himself in the foot, because Ole Inners will turn on Ole if he plays a 5 at the back. You'll hear it. It's not the United way. We watch Liverpool pass the ball for 80 minutes and nick the goal at the end. You know, that's the only problem with the 5 at the back. If you had a diamond, you'd get criticism, yes, but at least, you know, there's some sort of attacking prowess in that, then we can kind of impose ourselves on games if teams aren't up for it, because there will be teams who have off games. You know, it's going to happen, and we can take advantage of that. With the 5 at the back, bruh, like it looks like you're already admitting defeat before it's even started. And if he did that, I would respect him for it, but I know a lot of the fans won't, because I can see it with Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. You know, Mandem's already getting bantered for going to the round of the Carabao Cup for playing by playing a back 5, you know, and basically waiting till extra time and penalties to save him, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
think the main issue. I think the main issue with reverting to the back 5, I think personally, I get way too many Mourinho vibes. It's just park that bus and just sit and wait for the opportunity to strike. And that's really just not what United fans want to watch week in, week out.
Even Ole,
it's not what we want. Yeah, even Ole doesn't want it. It's the reason he doesn't play it that often. It's the reason he stopped playing it. It's because it wasn't working, firstly, and because it wasn't attractive in the slightest.
Yeah,
we definitely have better personnel to work it now. We can pull off a much better 5 at the back right now. But
actually,
still
if Telles and Shaw played as the left side,
that's my whole point. That's the whole reason I'm saying I want the 5 at the back, because I want that.
That could work. It instantly improves over Brandon Williams, because he went on a run for a while and he was our main left-sided player for a while, and it was just a bit disappointing at stages, because we're relying on an 18-year-old, 19-year-old that's just got first-team action to do everything. That's the issue with that left-hand side when we were playing that back 5 as well. It wasn't. So now we have actual personnel who can play that. We have someone who's experienced, who's a winner, who can actually run up and down that flank well and effectively. I'm not saying we should do it, but I'm just saying we have the better personnel for it.
Listen, I don't want to be negative. Okay, you'll see where I'm going with this in a second. But Alex Telles apparently isn't very good at English. And our coaching staff isn't very good at speaking European languages, let alone coaching European players, because they don't know how European teams are run. Yeah, actually it's going to be all Bruno, but then Bruno's from Portugal anyway, so I guess they speak the same language, Spanish.
Yeah, they speak the Portuguese,
Yeah, if we're relying on Bruno Fernandes with no coaching experience to coach a left back, sure, you know, that makes me feel so much more confident. Feeling. I can imagine characters.
The thing is, when we mentioned that Bielsa doesn't speak any English, and he's coached this team to perfection.
Yeah. It's funny though, because like the thing is, it's not just the English thing; it's the fact that our coaching staff just isn't that good. So not only are they inept, but they can't speak English. So I just imagine Phelan and Carrick yelling on the touchline and Telles in his head going, "What the hell are these guys talking about?" I never did any of this at Porto. I apologize for the noise. The construction's just started here. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's the only problem I see with Alex Telles. If he is going to be coached into a system where we heavily rely on him banging down the wings, because that's what a 5 at the back does. We're basically relying on our wing backs to be wingers. I don't see how he gets coached properly, and I don't see Pogba, Bruno, and Matic, either one of them getting dropped. So you have to assume if we did play a back five, it will be those three in the midfield plus two strikers, and we're basically relying on Wan-Bissaka.
We'll probably have to drop Greenwood, sadly.
Yeah, and then what happens to Rash as well?
I
think
think
Rashford
that's a good thing, personally. Yeah. I think that's a good thing. I don't think Mason Greenwood should be playing in a toxic dressing room like this. I think it's a good thing, personally. I don't
He
think
should be playing game in, game out at 18, but
Oh,
hey.
yeah, you shouldn't be playing every game.
Yeah, it's not even about that. It's not even about that. Like if we were doing well, I'd be like, you know what,
Yeah,
let
it's
Mason
more
play.
as a side
You know,
note,
he's
but
young,
hey,
he
yeah.
wants to do it. Yeah. He shouldn't be playing. You guys are right. You know, we should be preserving him anyways. But that's not even why I'm saying it. I'm saying it from more of a mental point of view and not a physical point of view. The impact that this dressing room has had on foreign players, you know, and I doubt Malot is listening till this late, right? But when I hear people say, "Oh, Upamecano, it's a good risk," I'm like, like Harry Maguire was a good risk, huh? Okay. You know, like, I don't mean to be negative. I don't mean to be negative, Nelly, but every player we bring into this club, if they do not have a strong mentality, like a dog mentality where they're willing to fight and run till the very last second and they're willing to drop dead for that badge and they don't care, regardless of the wages, regardless of whether they're starting or not. The Herreras, the Freds, the Brunos, the Baileys, even though he's a bit reckless, he's willing to put his body on the line for his team. If we are not getting players like that into the team, this mentality issue, this spinelessness, this, we freeze up when our number 9 gets a red card and we don't know what to do, or we freeze up when we concede a goal at the other end after scoring one. It's going to trickle into every other player that comes into this club. And the reason why I don't want us going for deals like Upamecano is not because I don't rate Upamecano. Upamecano is definitely a generational talent, but I want us to do deals like that when it's at the right time. And if the player has a proven track record of having a strong mindset, of playing, again, a player who wants that step up, who's hungry, who's looking for the next big thing. I don't want another, expensive centre back who's just gonna be having the same conversation about, like, is it his fault? It's not his fault. The backline has no leadership. So as a result of this guy who's not a leader, he's now suffering as well. I don't want that. If Upamecano is going to come in and be a leader and organize that backline, great. If people think he's that good, I can't argue with you, but I don't think he is. I think he's a good defender, but I don't know if he's a leader. And we need leaders.
Not a leader. He's a freaking amazing centre back, but he's not a leader.
So we can't spend 50, 60, 70 million on another centre back.
We need a Vidic or Ramos.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We need a personality more than we need the actual skill. It would be nice to have both, but we're not in the Fergie days where we can have both anymore in the market. We need to pick one, and I just think the more players like Bruno Fernandes we get into this team, the more we can get away with all the crap we've done in terms of giving people like Phil Jones contract extensions over the last few years, because I don't know how else you go about it. Cavani, I hope Cavani has some magical advice to share with Martial. I hope Cavani turns Martial into a better player. I hope all the things and all the comparisons to Cavani, not in terms of his level as a talent, in terms of the comparisons with Zlatan. I hope the things about, because people are comparing him now off the field to Zlatan. Like, they're saying he's a hard worker, he's always determined, he's always willing to go the extra mile, he's always looking for a challenge, all that positive PR bullshit. I hope it's true with Cavani. I hope he comes into that dressing room, and even if he doesn't score, I hope he just gives some players a kick up the backside, Yeah, I hope he wants to win. And I hope he is like Bruno when we're down 3-0 at halftime going, what the hell are you guys doing? Get me on and get this piece of crap off who doesn't deserve to wear the shirt, whoever that may be. Cavani, please, you've taken the number 7 jersey from me. You've taken my sanity away from me. Please, the least you can do is give the young player a kick up the backside in that dressing room. The least you can do is leave a footprint on this dressing room like Zlatan did. Because no matter what anybody says about Zlatan, when he was on that field, United had a backbone. United had a backbone.
I still think Zlatan was great for us.
Yeah, long term he wasn't, but short term he had a backbone. Because everything that he did positively is gone now.
That guy freaking got his Zlatan shit on. I don't know what it is, but I got
the number 9, yeah.
Number 9.
Best kit of the modern era. Best Chevrolet kit, I should say, when Zlatan was here. But it's a shambles, people. It's a shambles, and I don't think there's anything else to talk about. I think
should probably give a rating on the transfer window.
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary unless you guys,
Nah, I'm looking good for the bets.
Yeah, for the fans, yeah, let's rate the transfer window because I put something out on Instagram and somebody gave it a 6 and I was like, that's so kind, mate. That's so kind. Somebody else gave it a 4 and I was like, damn, that's even still kind. I was expecting negative ones and zeros because I don't see a positive in this transfer window. Like,
Yeah, neither do I.
Van der Beek
That's what I was.
doesn't close the
Van
gap
der
between
Beek
us.
is here. He's great.
He is
but
here.
Did he want? No, he wanted Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
Cavani is here, but did he want? No, you wanted Jadon Sancho. We didn't get one player we wanted.
Alex Telles is a fullback. If we got Alex Telles, a right winger and a centre back, or Alex Telles, a right winger and a centre midfielder, which we did, but not a right winger, it would have been better. It would have been better. But the problem is we can't just rely on signings in positions that weren't desperate priorities, right? So for me, it's a negative one. It's a negative one. What are you giving the transfer window?
I'm giving it a 0, man. 0.
I was at least looking at it somewhat positively. Because, like I said, we invested well with the youth. We actually got back up. If this window we looked up with nothing, I would have just 100%. If it was just Van der Beek, I would have gladly given it a 1 or a 0. But Cavani at least strengthens the striker. We needed backup striker. We needed an actual good backup striker. Cavani somewhat gives that. Even though he isn't ideal for what we wanted, he wasn't at all what we wanted. But he is something. And I'll take that something over getting no striker, because then we're relying on Igalo, who looks terrible.
Oh, here we go again. He's better than nothing. Get Aaron Brooks in. Get Aaron Brooks in. Get David Brooks in.
He loves Aaron Brooks. This guy,
it's
funny.
Okay, no. Admittedly, you can't say that to me because I actually like David Brooks in general. You can't say that to me.
Yeah, okay.
I don't rate him as better than nothing. But we literally got an 18-year-old who's tearing it up in Italy. He's hailed as the next Messi for whatever reason in Italy. And hopefully we see that.
Hopefully we see that. Scored 1 goal. He played 3 games and scored 1 goal. Now he's the next.
He played
Messi.
in under 30 minutes of Serie A time and did that. So, admittedly, it looks a lot better when you know he was used as only a substitute.
It's not like I want to be negative, but like I've heard it all. He's the next Messi. He's the next one.
I want to back these guys at the end of the day. I want to back these guys at the end of the day, and I want to believe what people.
I love it. I love the positive energy, but here's why. Here's why I'm being negative. It's not because I don't believe he's the next Messi. It's not because I believe Cavani's a crap footballer. Is Cavani better than Igalo? Yes. Is Cavani better than Josh King? Yes. Is Cavani better than Rondon? Yes. But was Cavani part of the plan? No. So why are we signing him?
Definitely.
That's the problem. Was Adam Traore
I would be
a part
all
of
on board. Yeah, I'd be all on board with the youngsters. But again, it's the timing. It's not the time.
Yeah.
When
That
Cavani's
should
running
be
out.
Jadon Sancho's time. That shouldn't have been Cavani.
We should have had Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, and Upamecano.
Fully.
That was 10 out of 10 for me. You got Upamecano, Jack Grealish, and Jadon Sancho, 10. Okay.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Cavani. If we slip into a depression over the next few years, I ain't blaming you. I'm blaming the idiots who signed you, not you. I hope you work out. But
I hope you better bag 30 goals this season.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's my problem. That's my problem. The Glazers have won because there's people going, Adam Traore is the next Messi. Oh, really? So you telling me Ed Woodward actually took a year off to scout this guy and got into detailed metrics of what made Messi such a good player and said this guy, of all the youngsters in the world, was more likely to be the next Messi, and that's why we're signing him over Jadon. I guarantee you that's not what happened, and that's why I'm fuming. I guarantee you that's not what's happening. So look, I hope he comes here and wins 3 Ballon d'Ors. I hope he wins 3 back-to-back league titles and a treble, just like in 2007. I hope Cavani scores 60 goals because he's getting paid as much as Harry Kane. But if it doesn't happen, I have to look at it and say, you know what? When a transfer doesn't work out just because it didn't work out, like Harry Maguire, fine. I can let it go. But when a transfer doesn't work out, and we told you, we told you before you bloody signed this guy, don't do deals like this, and you do it again, and it fails again.
That's frustrating.
That's when it becomes a problem, yeah. So I hope Adam Traore does well, but honestly, I think Ed Woodward misread the list, fam, because I think it said Adama Traore, and he was like, "Oh, Adam Traore, there's one. Hey, what's your name, Matt Judge? Yeah, there's one in Italy. Yeah. No, not the one at Wolves, the one in Italy. They're saying he's the next Messi. Yeah, I've used him on Football Manager. He's good. His potential's really good. Yeah, do you want to? What are you saying, Ben? You want to put in 10 million quid for him? Yeah,
I might just go buy him on freaking Football Manager because we've been playing it recently.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or actually, probably went more like this. Oh, Matt's phone is off. Don't worry, I'll handle it. No. We don't need to direct the football. I'll handle it. That's probably how it went. Probably how it goes at this
I would be
point.
surprised. I would be surprised.
Yeah. Let's wrap up this depressing show. Leave a like on the video. Please do subscribe if you are new. Back the manager. Please, back the manager. Ollie out the grade, going crazy over the next few weeks. I mean, it's going to happen. So why am I preemptively losing my mind? It's going to happen. You know, calm down, Marcus. It's okay. It's okay. But please, back the manager. If you're looking for a reason to continue, back the manager. I can also see it. But Ollie, please drop the ball.
Smile and then repeat.
No. You know, Boch is going to come in here and he's going to get 150 million quid in the summer. But anyways.
And we'd be happy if go away. Go both for the Champions League. No, it's fine. All right, who's next? Bielsa. Kick out.
Oh, please enjoy the rest of your day/evening whenever you're watching this. And peace out. It's been your boy Triple M and the rest of the cast. And I'll see you in the next one.